We're live.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the City of Scottsburg's Board of Works. This is the 9th day of November, 2020. As you can see, we are still masked up as the COVID-19 continues to ramp up in our populations. As you can see, the masks, we are following CDC guidelines here by wearing masks. So if you're going to come, please bring your mask. We have some here if you don't have any. We have hand sanitizer here. You're welcome to come out if you wish to come out. We have limited seating. We're maintaining six foot distancing here. So you are welcome. We want you to know that. This is the Board of Works. This is 1 hour prior to our normal city council meeting on the second and fourth Mondays of each month. So the first thing we'll do is call a meeting to order, and we'll begin that with a roll call from the clerk treasurer, please.
Mayor Hayden.
Here.
Tom Lewis. Here. Karen Gracious.
Here.
Nice to see all the Board of Works members here in person. So instead of being on the radio and telephone. So the first thing we have is the approval of the minutes of the October 26th meeting. If you look the minutes over and see no corrections or errors or additions, we will take it off for approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Karen Richards makes the motions. I will second. Tom will seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Close like sign. So moved. Next thing on our agenda is the department heads, and we typically start off with Chief Zellers.
Well, I have a few things, sir. I gave you a packet. I don't know if you saw me set it down. What I gave you guys is actually going to be two different bids on police vehicles. I'm going to stand that so I can read this a little bit better. The first one, if you look at it, I probably put in the same order as I got. It's John Jones 2020 Ram Crew Cab 4x4. Should be the first one in your package. The first page here basically is the equipment. Just so we know, starting off, is I contacted Travis Elliott with Gilstraps, who informed us that they do not have any 2020 Ram vehicles on their lot. He stated, quote unquote, the only people who are going to have those are John Jones because they're the state bid getter, and nobody else has 2020s on the lot right now. I spoke to, also for information, I spoke to Randy Smith. He does the police car packages for pointers out of Columbus. He said the exact same thing as they said at Gilstraps. You weren't on the board last year, but when I had to buy a vehicle last year in the same situation, we had to do the same thing in December, January, you remember. There was nobody else that had these vehicles sitting on the lots. So in saying that, the bid's on the back page. Once again, please remember, this is for this vehicle to be equipped, totally equipped. Now, that's with the sirens, the radios, the lights, everything I just said. This vehicle is going to go to Steve Harold to be used. Our plan is to roll him in the full-time detective position January 3rd when we get Andy Brown back. The price was $40,656, completely stocked, minus my trade-in for his current vehicle, the 2016 Durango, which they offered $15,000, which I checked the blue book on it, and that is about right where I thought we would be offering for it. So I'm happy with that. So it's going to be $25,656. Now I don't have that in my budget, so I'm going to pay for this out of federal asset forfeiture, which I do have that. I have plenty of money in federal asset forfeiture for that vehicle. And that purchase I'm going to make, if you guys authorize that, I'm going to make that purchase, try to make that purchase tomorrow. I'm going to call him and let him know that I have approval. If there's any questions about that, I'll do my best to answer.
What's the reason you wanted the Ram crew cab?
That's the truck. The last few times that we've used detective, I don't think I'm going too far here. Maybe we went and got some trash for some investigation purposes. We get a tip, somebody is maybe selling drugs or doing something. So we get an okay from the trash truck when the trash is out. We've been throwing it back in my truck.
That's it.
So it'd be nice for Steve to have his own not only for that, he can do other things with it, and for detective work. It's got real nice, on the sides of it, it states in here what it's called, I think what it's called. It's, basically, there's, what we're looking for here. I don't want to say cabinets, but on the side of the truck, it has locks, you can put it, and he's getting a bed cover on it so we can store things in the bed, evidence wise. Be nice for him to pull up on scenes, but if there's bigger evidence, we can put it in his truck. He can secure it until we get the police department to secure it. A lot of departments are going to these trucks,
Yeah, I've seen them.
not only for detective work, but just for road
Yeah,
work.
right.
I don't know if they're that good for road work, but I like them for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Steve's gonna do.
Okay. So you want approval for each individual?
Well, what I have, sir, is this is something that I want to get done now. The other package here is gonna be 3 bids I got for 2021 police vehicles. Last year, we waited too long, if you remember. I was getting busy January and February, so we're just doing it earlier. This actually will come out of next year's budget. So, and I guess what I'm asking for here is approval to do this, and for me to use federal asset forfeiture to purchase this vehicle.
Just for clarity, can you explain federal asset?
Federal asset forfeiture is money that basically for our department, is when Bob Emmett was there. It's property seized, it's drug seized. Josh, if I'm wrong here, let me know. And Delbert was real good, and I've been real good at not spending that money unless we absolutely need it. Usually it's just for vehicles or for equipment for vehicles is what we use it for. My understanding, once again, Josh, if I'm wrong, is that they're not doing federal asset forfeiture anymore. Am I correct on that? So they diverted more to local asset forfeiture, which is decided basically by the prosecutor and the judges how much we get. They try to divide it up. So this is a good thing we have over here.
Yeah.
I have about $126,000 in that. So with this truck purchase, it's gonna come down to about 9,000 touchdowns. There's a reporting system we have to do on that every year too. So it's kind of a pain to do that every year, but I mean, it's something we have to do. So if we get rid of the money, we'll have to do that. It's not a budgeted asset that we have. They do not want us to budget. They don't want us to supplement, or they don't want to be part of our budget. The local asset forfeiture is budgeted. I get $10,000 a year for that.
Is your vehicle similar to this one as well, chief?
Yes, they took what they did for my vehicle last year, equipment wise, and what they're putting in this. The body style is a little different, and the bed cover is going to be a little bit different too, because the bed is a different style bed.
So you need approval from the board.
I need approval to purchase it, and I need approval to use federal asset forfeiture.
Can that be one motion? Okay, I'll make the motion. We approve purchase and approve the use of federal asset money.
I'll second.
Tom Lewis makes the motion. Karen seconds. Now's the time for questions. What is, pray tell, the white knuckle clear coat?
That's white. I asked that question myself.
Can you get the brass knuckle?
The guy told me that they just switched the white up about every other year, just like somebody's probably getting paid to do that. Yeah, I asked the same question, Mayor. I asked him that question.
So I guess we have a first and a second. Hearing no other, anybody else have any questions they want to ask Chief? I have one more question. Are the accessories all being put on locally, or are they being put on by John Jones? The lights?
Those are being put on by John Jones. Yeah, I just had that last year. I did the same thing for the process of getting it done this calendar year. Getting it done, getting the bid, since we're using federal asset forfeiture. I don't want to wait and get it done.
Gotcha.
So usually they can give me a turnaround. On my vehicle last year, when we got everything done, it was like a week, maybe a little more than a week. And I had the vehicle, and it was turn the key and you go, ready to go.
Gotcha. Does it save you any money, or cost you more money?
I would say, honestly, it's probably cost a little more.
A little more in 1,000?
No, I would guess right around there.
Around $1,000?
Yeah, I could guess equipment wise, and I'm just guessing.
So. Well, we'll let you have your own discretion on that. How about that?
Thank you, sir.
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So moved, unanimous.
The second thing I had, thank you, guys, I appreciate it. The second thing, if you guys will look, I gave you 3 bids, and these are for 2021 Dodge Chargers. These are for vehicles next year. This will come out of next year's budget. I'm just wanting to get approval so we can start the process, because they'll have to order them, and we'll have to get them in. I've got 3 bids, and these are gonna be for anywhere from 2 to 3 cars. My goal is to get 3 cars. I think I'll have that in my budget. Of course, if I don't, then I'm only gonna get 2. But the first one, if they're in order, should be from Gilstraps, I think. It's in your right hand, Karen. That one sheet on the bottom, I meant to highlight these, I apologize, I didn't. They're bid for 2021 for Dodge Chargers. Now, I did get rear wheel V8s is what I told them one. It was that option or all-wheel drive V6s. My expertise on vehicles, I mean, is that we don't want V6s. They tear up these. I had a V6 Dodge Durango, and it was junk. I had it for a few years. It was junk. So I want to stay with the V8s. I'm sorry.
This comes out next year's budget.
This is next year's budget. I'm just trying to get ahead of the game. I think this is the time to get bids in, and this is the time to order cars so you can get them in January, February next year. The Gilstraps price per vehicle is $24,677. It's all the way to your right. Once again, I apologize, I didn't highlight. It's all the way to your right on total price. You see 3717, and if you'll go over to 24677, that's Gilstraps price. The 24677. Any questions about that? Does everybody see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Your second page is the bid I got from John Jones. Their price per vehicle is $25,104.
Comparing apples to apples.
I've got it apples as best as I can. If there's something that somebody's added on there that I didn't know, then I won't. I try to match them up. I'm advising the best I can. I'm not an expert on all these descriptions down here. It's a basic police package car is what I'm trying to get bids on. And I made it very clear to them. And the only thing that we kept the same is, of course, the V8s, V8 Hemis. And then the last one is 2 pages. But the first page, on the very first page, is his price. It took me a while to figure that out too. But the first page, right here, is where he says $25,560 is the price as it's built on the 2021. This is from Pointers out of Columbus. I called Pointers in Seymour, and they directed me to Columbus because they haven't got themselves police vehicles up there. So he also told me that it's hard to compete against John Jones because they're the state bidder. But according to the bids that I have here, like I said, Gilstrap was a little bit lower by about $400. It was like $300 and something per car. Now, I give you this information, as you know, and it's your choice on who we're going to purchase these vehicles from or who we order.
Lowest, most responsive bidder. We're going to deviate from that. We need to give reasons as to why one of the lowest is not a responsive bid. I think we had this last year, John was here in person, was when he was here.
No trade-ins on these, chief?
There's no trade in these. I'm going to have 3 vehicles that are going to, if I get 3, I got 3 vehicles that are going to come to. If I need 2, you got 2. I'm not going to trade anything out. I'm just going to buy these. The only thing that the price doesn't include in this will be what it costs to equip them. There's no equipment on these. And once we get these ordered, get them in, then I'll bring bids back, actual bids back for those. I know we can get, we usually get about 2 bids, 2 or 3 bids right there. It's hard to get 3 bids, but I'll try to get 3 bids, but I'll get you 2 at least.
On the Eddie Gilstrap line, down towards the bottom of this list, got 4 each sold a vehicle. You have any idea what that means?
I'm trying to find where you're at.
It's like fourth one from the bottom.
Fourth one. Solid vehicle? No. 4-inch, sales code 4-inch now. I don't, it shows 00 next to it.
Zero. I'm just kind of curious what that meant.
When I got bids, I made it clear to them that my goal was to buy 3 and I was gonna buy 2. So I don't think that's holding us to buying four vehicles. If it is, we can rip this one up, I'll bring you some new bids.
Okay, the packets are in front of you from 3 different dealers. And, one Seymour, one Scottsburg, and one Salem. So what is your pleasure? It looks like to me, looking at it, we are comparing apples for apples. You look at engine size, you look at everything the chief wants, they all seem to be respectful and the same. Did you see anything difference in any of these, chief?
Now, I saw, I'm just looking quickly, I see that they have Tom Heather on this one from Columbus also, they got the same thing.
They have that.
4 each sold, it's on the second page.
So
I don't see it on John Jones's here, so that must be, it looks like John Jones, it looks like, if you look at, Columbus and Gilstrap, looks like that's exactly the same thing.
Sure does.
Exactly, besides where they're gonna be sold to and shipped to. One says Bob Pointer, and one says Eddie Gilstrap. The bid here from John Jones appears to be the only one that's different. So I'm guessing that these 2 are the ones that they printed straight off the page of Dodge, Chrysler, whoever.
There's only $427 difference between John Jones.
Yeah,
The difference is the Gilstrap, the Bob Pointer has, your lamp.
Well, no, that's extra. I didn't have that on.
Well, it's in the Bob Pointer bid.
I'm talking, on this here, I'm sorry, I was talking about the LED lamp, or light.
And I'm assuming that left spot lamp is an LED light.
Now, the LED light is 120 extra, he did tell me that, he's got that on the front page.
Oh, yeah, I see, yeah, I see that, yeah. But I don't see any lights. I'm assuming you're not gonna have a side light on the other 2.
I don't see them on here either. It was $210, so that might be a little bit different, yeah, you'd still be out. I don't know if that was, I don't know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if that was brought up by Gilstrap about the spotlight.
I mean, if you take 210 off that makes that down to 20, 25, 350.
And if you add it to Gilstrap's, it's 24,
Yeah, so
90 something, and I don't see it on.
you're still a lot of money under.
Now, they have it on this one here, the spotlight too, so I can verify that. John Jones has a spotlight on there, so
They did, okay.
I'll have to check with him to make sure that's it, but it's still, I mean, price wise, it's not gonna be that, I mean, it's just gonna make it closer to John Jones, it's still gonna be a little longer, if that's your concern.
So you have those 3 bids before you. Do we have a motion to accept one of the bids here?
I'll make the motion to accept the low.
The low bid being from Eddie Gilstrap at $24,677. So is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Karen Richards, seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Being that Mr. Gilstrap is the low bid, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So moved.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I'll check on the spotlight, if there's some problem, I'll let you know. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, guys.
I think the excellent job Scottsburg PD is doing.
Thank you, sir.
Just repeating, folks, if you did not catch the last month, Scottsburg PD is up close to 500 additional pullovers and arrests and citations, probably more citations than that, what we were at. So, being very aggressive. So we just want you to know that. So, keeping Scottsburg safe, keeping Scottsburg proud. Next thing we have on our agenda is the utilities from,
She had nothing. She said for the first time in her career, we have absolutely no sewer adjustments.
it works.
Yay.
Hallelujah. So, okay, so water sewer, no adjustments, so we're good there. We have our, just if you're tuning in, we have our final, sewer wastewater treatment plant, new blueprints sent off to IDEM folks, so, that's what's going on there. We'll talk to the clerk treasurer. What do you have for us tonight?
Okay. I have been waiting today, for a lease from Kubota. This was what, the Board of Works approved on 9/14 to purchase. It is a mower with or a tractor with a sidearm mower. And this was approved, to purchase by resolution 2020 R-3. We're working with the company to get our final documents, and today they did not send me the code to go ahead and get those, so I could bring those tonight. But I would like to ask your approval that once Josh reviews these lease agreements, when we get them, and upon his approval, that you allow the mayor to go ahead and sign outside of a meeting, so we could send the first payment of $28,220.10.
It's a new sidearm mower. We have a 30-year-old one, that works about every other time. It's got an arm that comes out the side, you have to mow everything. If you did not notice, the city of Scottsburg has mowed all of the exchange on the interstate. So that was not the state highway, that was the city workers for Scottsburg. So if you got off the state highway, off the Interstate 65 coming up, and you could not see the guardrail before, you can now see them, because that whole thing has been mowed. Part of that has been with this new mower we've received. This new tractor also has a cab, so even in the rain, we can continue to mow. It has heat and has air conditioning.
So we already got it.
We already.
Have paperwork.
So, this is,
Cart before the horse.
what we're wanting to do is go ahead and have it ready so that when we get the paperwork, we can just go forward instead of waiting 2 weeks.
I've seen it, it's nice,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's nice.
And I believe you're on duty on that one on tomorrow, and Tom's on duty with it on Thursday, so you both get help. So, yeah, it is, it's a ball.
Not a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, this is,
We need help.
but it has to stay south. So anyway, it's a great mower, so, this is another tool, and we want our employees to be safe and to keep them safe, and so we try to maintain good equipment for them, so this is part of that. So we'll entertain a motion then to go forward.
So move.
Tom moves on the motion to go
I'll
forward.
second.
Okay. Karen Bridges, second. Questions, comments, concern? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So moved.
Josh, when we receive that, we'll send it to you for your review. I don't expect anything out of the ordinary. Okay, secondly, I have received an email request from Charles Hutchison, who rents the building from the city at 10 East McLean Avenue. He has a year-to-year lease, and he would like to extend that lease for another year. The terms of it says that he's to let us know 60 days before the lease expires. He's a little delinquent with that, and he had apologized, but he has had knee surgery. The 60 days would have been October 31st, and he would like to continue renting that and at the same price, which is $650 a month.
Is there a motion to go forward with the continuance of the lease with Mr. Charles?
I will make that motion.
I'll make a motion, second.
I'll second.
Karen, second. Questions, comments, concern? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. So moved.
Okay, the third thing,
Is there a written lease with them already? Can we just need
yes,
to
there's, yes,
edit?
yes, would we just need minutes to show that, or do we need to?
Let's do a written extension with them. If you could, Jasper, somebody send me the current lease, and then I'll just get us an
I
extension.
will find that and send that to you.
My office can do that, because we should have that in the contract folder, so.
And That one was a weird one last year, so yes.
Yes, it's up in here.
Because if we had an arm that covers us, but if we don't have something in writing from him,
Yeah.
he's not gonna be bound.
Okay, so we will get that to you and get it signed by all respected parties. Thirdly, I would like to make a
Excuse me, that is the old Stravinsky building right here.
Right on the other side of the ball.
Okay, just so everybody knows.
Okay. Thirdly, we did hear, Jess and Carmen worked on getting, presenting grants for different departments of needs that they needed to our, workers' comp carrier. And they did, let us know over the weekend, and there were 4 departments that got grants. That would be the police, the maintenance department, parks, and the mayor's office. The total of the grants is I think it's for maybe they approved the safety jackets, is that what you all?
Safety vest, hard hats, and rain gear.
Yes, yes, so when the mayor's out, hanging off of these new trucks that the street department has, he will be properly attired.
We can wade in water leaks.
We can.
Yes, yes. So the total of these grants, for the 4 departments were $3,149.04. There were some much larger grants put in, but we did not receive any of those. IPEP, it's an 80-20. That's what the city, those 4 departments will have to come up with 20% of what they were awarded, it would be no problem. So I would just like for a motion for the board to approve the mayor signing these grants, so my office can get those sent back.
I'll make the motion.
Aaron Precious makes the motion. Is there a second? I'll second. All those seconds, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those like sign.
And I want to thank Carmen and Jessica for working on those, and hopefully this will be an every year thing. This was the first year, I think it's the 3rd year IPEP has given those grants, but it's just the first year we knew about it. So we'll have that on our calendar for next year if we still have the same carrier. And with that being said, our insurance carrier is supposed to be bringing renewals to the Board of Works on the 23rd of November. So I've been in contact with them.
And I'll say this, the insurance carrier, I did not know, but I've come to know them, and they seem very, very professional, very knowledgeable in everything they're doing. One of the folks is an attorney that they have there. I mean, she's a sharp cookie. And so I've been very pleased with them.
Yes.
And that's the insurance.
And last, I would just like on the claims, I would like to have a motion to accept claims as presented, if the board so chooses.
I'll make a motion.
And Richards makes the motion to accept claims as presented. Tom Lewis seconds. Any questions, comments? Hearing none on the claims, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those like sign. So moved.
Okay, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you. You got a lot for them.
I did have.
We're now going to entertain Miss Jessica Jones on the Mid-America Science Park fee waiver request. What for y'all might this week?
We have had a request from the United Way. Nancy Riley has submitted this from United Way. On December 9th from 5 to 8:30 p.m., they are looking at having a Dolly Parton Imagination Library documentary event. They're looking to use the presentation hall and the display hall right in front of it for the 3.5 hours. Normally, the nonprofit rental rate for those 2 areas combined for 4 hours would be $200, and they're asking, since this is a community-wide event for children and getting them signed up for books and things of that nature, that we waive that fee for them.
Good thing, I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second.
the first and the second, I will comment on this one. My concern is just this, is that the Mid-America Science Park is one of those things, it's an alligator force, and we have cut a lot of expense there. We have gone through and cut and cut and cut and cut, and we're not even yet. We're still bleeding red ink now, but we're getting better. We're getting better. Jan he's come to us. I'm not saying we don't do this, but I'm also saying even nonprofits. I mean, this is have you been in the presentation hall? mean, this is normally, is it $800 a day?
For a weekday, it's $400 for a full day on a weekday. Weekends are more expensive, and I don't have the numbers exactly in front of me. But yeah, I can tell you that for-profit rate for this same area would have been $325 for the 3.5 hours they're looking for. So the nonprofit rate's already a $125 discount, and so.
And again, I'm not, I mean, I'm for nonprofits, I'm for, they do a great service by sending the children of Scott County books. And we're so thankful for that. But also I just want to make the board aware that we do have expenses. Our utility bill there, when Ivy Tech's there, is $10,000. It's $10,000. If they're not there, it's about $4,000 per change. So still, we just need to make sure we have enough funding coming in to cover it. So with that said, we have a motion and a second for, I'm assuming, to totally waive the fee.
That's what the motion made was.
So to totally waive the fee, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So moved, thank you.
What were those hours again, Jess?
5 to 8:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Next, we have new business with the one and the only, the Wallace.
Would you like to stand up or?
Sure, whatever you want to do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you're great.
All right. We have met with Mayor Enoch and his counterparts, and we all understand that the city of Scottsburg is in need of a new comprehensive plan. Yours is very aged, maybe decades by now. So there's an opportunity to pursue grant funding through the Office of Community and Rural Affairs of up to $50,000 for a new comp plan to be done. In order to be determined eligible to apply, you need to either be 51% low to moderate income by census data. If you don't meet that and you're close, OPRA can authorize you to proceed with an income survey to see if that gets you to the 51 or above the low to moderate. As of last Friday, OPRA did authorize the city to move forward with an income survey if you so choose to move forward with it. The cost of that, and River Hills can do that, is $1,160. We need to get 40 responses from within the city's incorporated limits. That could take 1 to 2 mailings from us. And this would also include the cost of materials and up to 10 hours. It may not cost you this much, but if it takes us 10 hours to do it, then that's what we're going to do. Just to give you a little more information on the grant application, if you move forward with the income survey and it comes out 51% plus, I believe that it will. You're at 47.4% for census data. So I believe the margin of error was 20. It could really fluctuate the other way, and I believe that it will, especially right now. The total project cost for the total project, if the plan, the RFP for the plan came in at 50, would be a 10% required local match, which would be based on $5,556. But what you could ultimately be out would be the cost of the income survey, plus the local match you're required to put up if and when you receive it. I'm here for any questions.
Now, folks, we're live Facebook, so if you don't know what a comprehensive plan is, Ms. Melissa, would you explain
Sure.
everybody a comprehensive plan?
It's kind of a forest view for the city. So we're looking at parks, utilities, infrastructure, social things that you want to see come into the city, and social services. It's just kind of a broad array of what you want the city to be, normally in about 5 years. And like I said, I wish I had the date of your comp plan, but
I think it's around the mid-90s.
I wanted to say
If not the
93,
late,
95.
I was gonna say it's late 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s, before 95.
And typically, you may not need a comp plan to become eligible for grant opportunities, but it's really good if you have a plan. And it backs up it justifies your need. Hey, we have this plan, we put money into this, we have skin in this game, and this is what we want to do, we spent money on this.
And folks, I want you to know that the City of Scottsburg's economic development has has moved to real estate. My whole administration is pushing real estate. So if you live down in the Clark, Floyd County areas, we have, if you want a taste of Mayberry, that's what we want to try to give you here. And to do that, we want a new comprehensive plan so that people can see what's going to happen in Scottsburg. We're being proactive, not reactive. And even after me, the next person sitting in this seat has some type of guideline to go forward with. And being this is almost 30 years old, we feel it's the time that I've also had investors say, let me see your comprehensive plan. People wanting to put up multi-housing units of several $1 million. We want to see your comprehensive plan. Well, it's almost 27, 30 years old here. So we feel we need to have that as well as an income survey. So we want to try to go forward with this. It's going to cost the city about $50,000. And this is graciously going to try to get us a grant on this to help pay for that. So that's what's before us.
So is the income survey tied with the grant or?
Absolutely, it's what makes you eligible.
Okay,
Right now, we cannot apply for funds through the Office of Community and Rural Affairs for a planning grant because you are not at that 51% low to moderate income.
okay,
6 years ago, you were there. You were 51% flat. You could go for anything you wanted to without doing an income survey,
yeah,
within the incorporated limits. And now it is not the case.
okay,
So that's why you have to do the income survey.
okay. Makes sense.
Do we have a motion then to go forward with this project of River Hills?
I will make that motion.
I'll just make a motion to go forward with River Hills, authorizing them to go forward with the income survey and submitting the grant application for a comprehensive plan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Richards seconds that. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So moved.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Two originals here to be signed.
Okay.
And also, who would you like to assign as a point of contact? And I can include that in this contract. You, one of your people in your office.
Whatever you want.
I would say Jess or Ashley. Ashley, you want it?
Do I need to sign down, Melissa?
I can just put your name in.
Okay.
I just wanted to include it as part of the contract that you can be my point of contact. So, yeah.
Either one.
All right.
You want both signed?
Yes, please. And then I'll make sure. you all get that. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
it.
most welcome. Thank you so very much for all your
Thank
help.
you.
Amen. The next thing we have on our agenda for this evening is K&K cleaning service contract revision. What this is a simple revision where there's been an issue where our cleaning service was a contract service, but charging by the hour. And the way we pay and the way he charges, it kind of overlap. And so we were almost having to pay for a day that he hadn't, or two that he hadn't worked. But so because the cutoff was on a Thursday, and so we go, Sunday through Monday or whatever it is. So instead of doing it, we're just gonna pay with the month. So that way we'll pass it just to pay with the month. That's what this is all about. Is there anything else I missed? Okay.
There are two things on the contract that you received to note is one where it says that he'll be receiving this pay beginning in August. That was when we originally had it, so that will actually say November. And and then the other thing is he stated that since he was no longer cleaning the science park, he would like to have it removed from the contract since he is no longer cleaning that. That's the only two things that were caught this afternoon.
Questions or comments about that?
So is this a fixed amount we pay per month?
It is.
Is that already been adjusted for not cleaning?
Yes, and he picked up also the street department. We had a part-time individual who had worked at the Mid-America Science Park, part-time position. She happened to be off for medical leave, and he was taking care of that point. Now she's back. He's been full of that and put back over into the street as well. Because he left the street, so it's just kind of a flip-flop.
So the price per month has been adjusted for all that.
Yeah, it's just basically, and that price per month is basically equivalent to what he was being paid per hour. So that's just been, am I correct on that?
His original contract was not to exceed 22,000 in a year. This will make sure that he is still under that 22,000 amount.
Right.
Okay. I'll make the motion to.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to go forward with this. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Richards, second. Questions, comments, concerns? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. You know, this was, so thank you very much. That's on the K&K services. What else do we have for announcements?
I need to present something.
Yes, please.
Sorry to interrupt.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Carmen Bowling.
I have a vacation sellback to present to you guys for today from Stacy Skinner, the Director of Broadband. It's for 2 weeks. That matches our handbook where they can sell up to half their time off. And so you presented them before, or you've approved them before when I presented them. So we just wanted to get this approved so I can get it on our paycheck next week.
Do you say this is a sellback
Yes,
of 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Okay.
It's in line with our policies.
Okay.
Make the motion to approve that.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to approve the sellback.
I'll second.
Karen Richards, seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So good.
So this policy though is under review as far as the
You signed this.
new handbook or.
Just
Was that my
anywhere.
understanding? Is that correct?
It was reviewed, yes.
Oh, they kept it the same?
The handbook has not
Be
been
dated.
approved yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We have, again, this has been one of the things this year, we have spent, we've had handbook
Thank you.
meetings. 2-hour meetings for,
2 months.
2 months. And we're probably getting maybe an all-nighter.
right. So this has been sent off to the attorneys.
Well, we
Most
discussed that
material,
before, yeah.
this was a previous issue.
We discussed this part of it before,
Yeah.
and I just want to make sure I was understanding correctly.
There have been many things that the state of Indiana has required changes in the handbook. There've been many things that in our practice and operation needed changes. So there's been many changes that have been made here. And, so we're basically coming down to the nitty gritty to coming back and say, here.
We're now on our 3rd draft, I think, from the attorneys that we're reviewing.
There is a statement in there, Tom, that I know that, but it hasn't been approved yet.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood correctly that it was under review.
It is under review, and yes, when we looked at those numbers, and I think Mayor, if you remember when we presented those numbers, it's probably not as many people utilizing that as one might think. Just like in this case of this employee, I'm sure she would rather take time off to be with her family, but she can't do it. Because she's a three-person department. So,
What else do we have? Give you an update here, folks at home, where, the residential housing update, new single-family housing, so far, we've had 22 new constructions this year so far. New multifamily, we have approximately 46, actually 46 units under construction right now. In Scottsburg, and I actually more than that, we have 44, that's multifamily, in between the Youngs and the Meadowbrook apartments. And, that's over $8 million in renovation costs there. And we have basically another 26 with, not Highland Glen, it's Highland Woods. That's going in out there, the old kids' place. They're going to continue going back further on back to the houses back there. So a lot going on there. The residential homes are 25% complete, and multifamily under construction. Under construction as well, 75% new construction. We've got a lot of opportunities for. We're looking at probably 3 new subdivisions possibly going in, all these are going to have okay from IDEM. The one with the 42 units has been okay, another 12 unit has been okay, all by IDEM to go forward. with this. The current apartments are already there, are you okay? So just to give you an update of what's going on. So a lot of things going on real estate wise in the city of Scottsburg, Indiana. So folks, we're coming down to a close. It's 6:15. What questions, comments do you have? None? Folks, if you've got a question, come on down. We're gonna start the city council here in about 15 minutes. We're located at the intersection of Highway 56 and Main Street, down in Scottsburg, where the lights at. Come on down. Thank you for joining us. Do I have a motion to close? Motion to adjourn. We're closed. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.